Hey everyone, it's Friday day. Oh, sorry. It's Friday. I always get you guys on Friday. Hey, accelerators.org. Jeff Bruno, B Modeler, and sorry, I need a little coffee. Happy Friday, everyone, whoever's joining. It is 3 o'clock on the East Coast, Philadelphia, and probably midday for a lot of you West Coasters there. Obviously 12 o'clock, trying to wrap it up. So, good luck finishing out your day. And almost holiday time. Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa. I think there are others these days. But hope everybody enjoys your time. And if you're taking a trip, please enjoy, relax, be safe. So today I'm going to go over questions that Sean wanted me to discuss, which I think is great. There are questions about sort of what entrepreneurs deal with as they build a business and start to scale it to the 1 million mark. So today I'm going to talk, I'll start with those questions and go through there, and hopefully this will give some people some thought process or some good ideas they can implement with their respective companies. So the first question is, in your opinion, how important is it for me as a new entrepreneur to possess or learn sales skills in order to start and or begin growing my company? So excellent question, actually. I think you need to be able to sell, period. If you're the owner of the business, one of your biggest jobs is to sell. Especially as a small business, as a startup or as a small company. I don't know about how sales skills go. I think what worked for me was I'm good at sales, but I'm not a top hunter type sales person. I'm never the guy that a company would hire and say, all right, I'm not cold calling 50 million people. I'm not running into stores and hawking stuff. That's not me. But what I have is a very good genuine authenticity. And I'm also extremely honest. And so that all combines into a very sort of easier sell, because I never try to manipulate somebody or persuade them with incorrect or exaggerated facts when we're selling something. And if I felt that they were misaligned for my product or my service, then I would tell them that. So I think that's the best way to do it. And here's the advantage, and why I think everyone should sell as owners. Because you know your product the best. You know your service the best. So you should be able to describe it the best than anybody else can on your... And by the way, you have the most motivation than anybody else. So just from that, you should be able to sell. And if you need some training, I'm sure there are plenty of coaches out there. There are sales coaches. There are, business coaches that could help you sort of refine your techniques. And I do think it's important that you learn how to sell. Next question. How soon in my business should I start tracking my numbers and software like QuickBooks? And at what point do I hire a bookkeeper or just keep doing it myself? Okay, I'm going to pull Sean's question apart here a little bit for everybody. He says, how soon in my business should I start tracking my numbers and software like QuickBooks? Hold on a second, Sean. Pull those apart. In my opinion, you need to pull those apart. They are two antithetical things. Software QuickBooks for your numbers mean nothing. I'm going to be adamant about this. Extremely adamant. So sorry, Sean, but you can't put those together. You have to know your numbers for your business. You have to know, how does my business model work? If I sell X at $100, I make Y of gross profit after my labor that's working on it, or after my cost of goods sold for that product, the raw materials. That's what I make as my gross profit. And then the rest of that goes into my overhead, my rent, my own salary, my marketing, and covers the rest of that. You have to know what those numbers are. You have to have a budget. You have to have a minimum understanding of how your business model is going to work before you even worry about QuickBooks. It's erroneous. I don't care. If you're not making any money on your model, then having a bookkeeper or having QuickBooks doesn't matter, because you're not going to have a business, because you're not going to make any money. So I don't like putting those in the same camp. What I would say first is track your numbers, know what they are, put them on a spreadsheet, see if they work. If they're working and your model is gaining traction and you have enough money, at a minimum you're breaking even on paying yourself, then start looking at your software that you need to do QuickBooks. So now, if you're not savvy with QuickBooks, there are so many resources out there nowadays. I'm sure Sean has some. I know Sean has some good bookkeepers within the group. There are so many that will charge, as low as $100 or $200 a month, up to $5,000 a month, depending on how complicated the company is. But generally, small amounts for smaller companies, and they'll just cash reconcile your books in a QuickBooks. You don't have to worry about that. So would I say pay a few $100s to a bookkeeper early on in your business? Absolutely. Because you need to focus on making money in your business, selling, per our last question we discussed, and focusing on your employees. Building your business, selling, focusing on your employees, and the strategy around your business model, not your bookkeeping. So I would say very early on, paying a couple $100s to have somebody do it is well worth it. Next question. What value does a mentor bring to me as a business owner? I hear that having business mentors can be integral to me as an entrepreneur as I grow my business. And I'd love to hear your thoughts as to why you think that is. Absolutely. Mentors are great. So I had a sort of a quasi mentor, but we ended up parting ways because our thought process was not aligned. So I actually sort of call him more of a coach than a mentor. So it depends on what you're thinking. Mentors really are people who are willing to give their time for free, essentially. You've known them maybe for many years. They've been in business. They've been somewhat successful or very successful. And they're either in your industry or related. And they know what you're going through specifically in your business model. And they can give you really honed in advice. And they're doing it pretty much for free because they want to help you. They're sort of giving back. That's how I classify a mentor. Other people, sometimes you don't have that. I didn't have that, so you got to pay for a coach. So I had a couple professional coaches, and I had this guy who helped us for a little while. You could do that, and that's similar to a mentor. So I think it's important to have some sort of process there. Or you could have groups like our business or other outsourced business that focus within your operational financial strategy and so on. They're a little bit like mentors too, because they do it with so many other businesses, so they can help you with some of that thought process. But yeah, I think a mentor is a great idea to help you make the right decisions. Next question. If revenue from my business isn't quite making me enough money, do you think it's okay to have a side hustle or side job of some sort to keep money coming in while I'm building my revenues for my company? So this is a tricky question. I would say probably yes, because there's nothing worse than the stress of not having enough money for your family or for you personally or whatever that is to live, a decent living. That probably will stress you out more, this is my opinion, than it would to do the side hustle to make that extra $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month or something. So, I mean, I wouldn't say you want to get more than 15-20% of your money from the side hustle, because then it's too overwhelming for you. If your side hustle is basically paying your salary while you're trying to build a business, that's not going to be effective. So you won't be able to spend the time on your business. So, but I do think it's okay to have a little bit, because I think the stress the other way is too much on someone. Number 5, what is the one thing you wish you would have known about how hard it would be to be a business owner when you started, and what did you do to overcome it? Oh, I've heard this question before many times. So it was extremely clear to me what I wish I would have known earlier. I wish I would have known how to be a better leader. Full stop. Full stop. I've been in business now on my own for 10 years, almost 11. And I can tell you that the first 7 years out of 11, 6, 7, I was not a good leader. I was good one-on-one. I was good sort of in circumstances. I was good with clients. I was not a good leader. I just wasn't. A good person, yes. A nice person, yes. That's different than being a good leader. It really wasn't until about 3.5 years ago I started to figure it out, and I just had an awakening. I don't know what to tell you, but like I didn't have anyone. I had some people, even my employees, and my sort of quasi-coach mentor, kind of say, Jeff, you're not leading the right way. Get an additional coach or figure this out. Like, you got to figure this out. And I did. I honestly lead much better now. I wouldn't say I'm a perfect leader, but I'm significantly better. But I turned the page. I said, that old Jeff has to go away. He has to be gone. He's no longer working. Get him out of here. Get the new Jeff in and be the right leader. And it has really helped me. We're making tons of strides in the last couple of years by that. Now, I'm not saying it's the be-all, end-all of a business. Obviously, the model has to work correctly, too, your business model. But being a leader is crucial, and I wish I knew that earlier on, that was a key to building. I spent so much time doing admin work and producing and delivering the product for my customers that my business revenues are suffering. How do I get more sales when I don't have the time to go out and network and do the selling activities? You can't. Get rid of the admin. I mean, it sounds easy coming from me, and I know it's hard because you want it to be accurate. You want it to be timely. It's part of the extra value add of your business model to the customer, probably. Like, all this has to be set up the right way so that nobody complains. But I have to tell you, you can find somebody to do that, and probably pretty cheap. You can probably find an outside resource too to help you do most of that, 70, 80% of that. And it's a little cost up front, but that's the cost of doing business. You pay for it, you put a timetable in. All right, I'm going to give this 4 months or 6 months, and I'm willing to part the ways with 30 grand, whatever it is, that I know I might not recover this year, because I might not be able to get the revenue up quick enough. However, the next 6 months, the revenue is going to skyrocket. So it's well worth it. So I would absolutely do that. Forget about the admin. It's useless. There's no value. And especially as the owner, you have to focus on the most highest value priorities in your business. Full stop. Next question. I've started to hire my first few team members, and it seems so difficult to get people to be as passionate about my business as I am. How do I get people to believe in the company as much as I do in order to grow? Another good question. So I might have varying opinions on this from others in this group. So I'm not sure, but I will tell you, I don't think employees or even small equity owners like in a Phantom or some kind of profit sharing program will ever have as much belief in the business as you, as a founder. Period. I mean, maybe a majority partner, like I did. I took on a majority partner with me a couple years ago. Maybe that person would, but outside of that, I don't think anybody in your business will ever be as into your model as you are. And so I think culture is the other thing. I think culture is important. So if you don't have a good culture, you might struggle to build the company because people will leave faster and not stick around. I've seen it with companies who have bad cultures, that people leave quickly. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be as gung-ho about your business as you are. So just got to build a culture, and you just got to keep pushing ahead. So, next question. My team members keep coming to me for guidance on every single decision. How do I get them to start thinking for themselves and not coming to me for every little thing? I've got so much to do and my mind is elsewhere and I just want them to do their job. How can I get them to make their own decisions? This is a great one. This is a very big B Modeler thing. B Modeler, our company. This is what we do all the time with companies. So it comes down to decision making. And I can tell you exactly how you can make these people, have these people do their own decisions rather than come to you for every little decision. You set up an effective operating process. That's it. What most businesses do is they don't have an effective process. And when I mean process, I don't mean all these little processes. I mean the most 1, 2, or 3 critical processes for your business to run most effectively. Set those up, then set the right measures, set appropriate targets, look at the useful data that can correlate whether the measures are being hit and the targets are appropriate. If you pull that stuff together and you set a process within those pieces of measures, targets, and data, and you hand the team members the roadmap, guess what? They're not going to come to you as much. Am I within this range? Yes. Okay, I don't need to talk to Jeff about this because we must be doing it right. Did I hit that target? Yeah, we did last quarter. I don't have to talk about Jeff about anything. Did this data answer my question? It did, because look at it. It told me that, okay, I don't have to talk to Jeff. If you don't set that up, they will come to you continually because you're the one with the intuitive answer. So that's what I would say. Next question. Oh, how do I figure out how much I should pay myself and how I should pay myself as I am putting all my money back in the business? Do I pay myself enough to pay my own personal bills or do I put myself on a steady salary? How do I know how much to invest back in the company? So this is a tricky question. I think this comes down to, honestly, a couple things. One, do you have savings you're willing to part with? Meaning essentially you're investing your own money into the business by living off of your savings. That's what I mean. If you're comfortable with that, or if you have enough cash from another job you had and you've saved up a lot of money and you're like, oh, okay, I could part with $100,000 for the next year and just put it all in the business, then do that. But if you're going to do that, make sure you set up a metric so that by the end of the year, or a few metrics, so that by the end of the year, your business is at a point where it can sustain your salary next year. So you're saying, I'm going to put 100K in right now to stabilize my business, or what we call bring it to sustainable performance at this tranche or this level, so that it can sustainably pay me $100,000 next year. Is that worth it to you? Probably worth it, because you know that the business will perform at that level continually. And now you have your income you can depend on. So I don't think setting arbitrary targets for your salary make any sense unless you know the business model can support it. And if you need a certain amount to live and you have no other income and no savings, then you have to do that just because out of sure need to eat and house yourself. But that's a different discussion. So then set the minimum level, maybe plus 10 or 20%. So in case you have some accidents or some issues that have to tend to, and set that number for your salary, and then make sure the business can support it. Last question. I struggle with confidence. What can I do in my business and life to build my confidence so that I can close more deals, hire better people, and just generally have more confidence to succeed in life? Well, this kind of goes back to the mentor/coach question. If you're lacking confidence, I guess the only way to build confidence is to kind of have either a mentor or a coach help you understand where you can focus on building confidence. Because probably, this is just a guess by me, you probably lack confidence because you're uncertain in certain areas of your business model, or you're uncertain whether you are capable to do X. So I would focus on where you're capable and where you're not, and get the not out of here. So I can tell you from my experience, it was clear as day. This is a great example for you. I'm a great CEO from the standpoint of selling my business construct. I'm a great analyst from the standpoint of being able to work with clients on operational and financial strategies. I am horrendous when it comes to process. So, internal process. So whenever we were trying to figure out internal process, I was low in confidence and I wasn't sure how to do it. So I would give it over to other people, or I'd let them, or I'd get irritated with them when they weren't doing it the way I thought it should be done, because I really wasn't that good at it. So it was a negative effect across the board. Hurt my employees' morale. I lost confidence because I was like, why are they not responding to this? Because I wasn't good at running a process. So I figured out that I had to get rid of that. And the best answer there was my partner, as a majority partner. I saw in him that he was the process king. And I said, you need to do this with me. And he said, yeah, you suck at it. I'll help you. And my confidence just boosted way up in the areas that I knew very well and stuck to those. So doing that plus getting some coaching and so on will help you boost your confidence. I would have no doubt. And then just go for it, man. You just got to go for it. Sometimes in life, we just have to try it. And if it fails, it fails. So what? Try it again. Just make sure it doesn't, put you out on the street. But go for it. All right? Everybody fails. I failed. I changed my business model. I failed with the old business model because I couldn't set it up right. So I had to change it. It's better now, but I failed. Now, I didn't lose the business, but I failed. I lost 7 employees over 4 years. Something like that. Not good. So anyway, hope this was helpful. It's always good to virtually see people here or not see people, but hope this helps everyone with their thought process. I've been through it. You're going through it, or you've been through it. You'll get through it. And I really hope everybody has a great holiday. Relax. Find time to think through your business model. Find time to think about the strengths and the weaknesses, and come in January with a new plan to focus on what matters in your business model and from a value standpoint, and go for it. Good luck, everybody. Happy New Year.